So the mainstream media have come after Russell Brand, which is no surprise to more or less anybody. They've come after Russell Brand because he's been touching subjects that he's not supposed to touch, such as vaccines, the origin of the coronavirus, the Ukraine Russia war, and other subjects like that. These are subjects that are very important to the power structures around the world, and therefore, anybody who tries to change the narrative around these subjects will be smeared. Now, what is a smear campaign exactly? The smear campaign is a tool of the psychopath and the sociopath. For example, if a sociopath wants to smear the reputation of one of his colleagues at work, he will try to destroy their reputation. He will start rumors about them. He will try to frame them in bad situations. This is exactly what the media does because the media is, at its core, psychopathic. Firstly, because there are quite a high number of socio and psychopaths working in the media who don't really feel empathy for the reputations they're destroying or the people in the reputations they're destroying, but also because those who work for these organizations don't feel guilty about what they do for various reasons. The smear campaign follows very predictable patterns, and once you know these patterns, you'll be able to see them propping up everywhere, all over the media, all the time. One common pattern among a smear campaign is what I call labeling. Every smear campaign needs a few clear labels that are going to be attached to the victim of the smear campaign. Some examples of these could be conspiracy theorist, right wing, anti vaxxer, or anything else that really sticks with that person. Russell Brand, in this case, has been branded as the common label for the smear campaign, which is a conspiracy theorist. Another common attribute of a smear campaign are the images. Images are used to make the person seem either dangerous, silly, ridiculous, or a bit of a joke. In this case, the Telegraph has used an image of Russell Brand wearing a big, colourful hat dressed as the Mad Hatter. The mainstream media can act as what you might call smear merchants, in which they sell their skill of smearing reputations to the highest bidder. If a giant corporation wants to attack somebody, they can use the smear merchants, such as the mainstream media or any other news outlet, to attack any particular person. They sell their skill to destroy reputations for a price to anybody who wants it. And this time, it seems that somebody is paying the mainstream media to attack Russell Brand. The most effective labels around at this time are anti vaxxer, right wing, conspiracy theorist, or climate denier. These are very, very effective labels right now, but the labels change with the times. And next year or a few years after that, there'll be new labels that the mainstream media likes to use to smear anybody's reputation. The labels change along with the zeitgeist of the times. The labels have to change also because the public might become too aware of their overuse and become skeptical of these labels. At what point do the public realize that every single person who touches particular subjects are smeared? The smear campaign of Russell Brand will continue for at least a few weeks until the media feel like they've done a thorough job of changing the emotions of the people who view him, as in changing the way the public emotionally feels about Russell Brand, which is, of course, the goal of a smear campaign to change the way you feel about this person. At the bare minimum, you can adjust the way people see Russell Brand by putting doubt into their minds. Thoughts might crop up in people's minds like, well, maybe he is a bit crazy. Or, yeah, well, maybe he's not as legitimate as I thought he was. These thoughts, of course, were put there by the smear campaign. Others who already dislike Russell Brand will have even more ammunition to use against him. Some other recent smear campaigns were of Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson. Of course, really, the public should stop believing that the mainstream media has any kind of authority or legitimacy, because the mainstream media, in many cases, are simply smear merchants, and they are available to the highest bidder, and they're not to be trusted. The smear campaign will always be with us as long as the media exists. The smear campaign of Russell Brand is just one of many smear campaigns that you will see in the rest of your lives.